We're back here with another reaction about this boy Andrew Tate getting arrested and he having the worst time in jail. So get straight into this. Welcome everybody back into the lineage. If you want to be part of the lineage, it's going to be linked in the description of Twitch and the Discord. Appreciate y'all checking out this video.
Being arrested by U.S. authorities just a few days ago, Andrew Tate
U.S.
is now sitting in
authorities?
federal custody, while British prosecutors work to have him extradited to the United Kingdom. There, Andrew and his brother Tristan face a combined 59 criminal charges, including allegations of rape, human trafficking, and
What?
assault. Both brothers deny every allegation.
59 charges? This is new,
And the
right?
fallout from that arrest is only just beginning. Right now, Andrew is being held at the Federal Detention Center in Miami, also known as the FDC. And only 6 days into his time there, he's already describing the experience as some of the harshest treatment the US government can impose. According to a post published through his account, Andrew says he has been placed inside the special housing unit, better known as the SHU. No commissary, no phone calls, no time in the yard. And this particular detention center that
24
Andrew Tate
hours?
is currently held in has actually faced serious complaints about the conditions inside. In recent weeks, detainees and their families have described intense heat after problems with air conditioning, cockroaches inside, and issues with access to drinking water. And federal officials actually confirmed that one of the facility's air conditioning chillers had malfunctioned, but said it was repaired, and they said bottled water was provided during a separate water pressure issue. Now, those complaints do not prove that Andrew personally experienced every one of those problems, but they help paint a picture of the environment he's currently being held inside, a crowded federal detention center in downtown Miami, where other detainees have recently described isolation, heat, and deteriorating conditions. And according to Andrew Tate himself, his own situation is even more restrictive. He described himself as an extradition detainee, being held under conditions he believes are meant for some of the most dangerous people inside the system. And now reality appears to be sinking in for Andrew Tate, because only days into
They ain't ever treating him like he the leader of one of the MS 13
federal detention, he's already publicly asking one question: why am I here? So the real impact of Andrew Tate's arrest is only starting to sink in for him. I'm sure most of you guys have already heard about the story and have probably been following everything that's happened over the past few days. If you haven't, don't worry, I'll keep you guys updated. I've been following the story very closely, and I'm continuing to research the legal situation Andrew is currently facing, especially this latest case and how it connects to the much bigger picture surrounding him. I actually have a separate video coming in the next few days that'll be over 20 minutes long, breaking down all the major cases and how they connect, so stay tuned for that. But now the United Kingdom is still...
They said across him and his brother 59 charges. What? Cause then he went to jail the first time too. Did he beat that case? I'm tripping. Am I tripping? How many times have he got arrested for some similar type of charges?
Actively trying to have Andrew Tate and Tristan extradited from the United States. The story immediately made headlines all around the world, and that is not surprising. I mean, Andrew Tate has built an enormous level of visibility online, and controversy seems to follow him almost everywhere he goes. But this time the situation is very different. He is not responding from a podcast studio, from a Bugatti, a private jet, or his home in Romania. Right now, Andrew Tate is sitting inside federal detention in Miami. And the Miami arrest marks a very different moment for Andrew Tate. Not because an arrest proves that he's guilty, but because it shows just how serious the legal pressure around him has become. For years, Andrew has presented himself as someone who remains in control no matter what happens around him. But right now, the control is limited. His movements are restricted. His surroundings are decided for him. And almost every part of his daily life is being controlled by the federal system. Andrew Tate has already started speaking publicly about what that experience has been like. And naturally, a lot of people are asking the same question. How is Andrew Tate actually doing behind bars? Because here's the thing. It doesn't matter how mentally strong or disciplined or fearless someone presents themselves to be. Being cut off from your normal life, placed in an unfamiliar environment, and forced to live under someone else's rules can wear almost anyone down. And Andrew has built this image around resilience. He talks about discipline, pressure, and remaining strong when life becomes uncomfortable. And I don't doubt that he believes those things, right? But there is a difference between talking about pressure from the outside and experiencing a situation where your freedom, communication, and daily...
Yeah, like, I don't know, like, it kind of reminds me of the YNW Melly thing, but I'm not going to, like, say it's two similar situations, because Melly been in jail since 20... Bro, Melly been in jail for, like, 7 years, bro. 8 years. In Miami, though. I mean, not Miami. In Florida. So he been in jail that whole entire time and still hasn't got convicted of anything. He hasn't served a sentence of being what's called like his trials keep getting delayed and some more. They keep trying to try something new, show a different type of angle, and they had to toss out some shit. And it's just like, bro, I don't know. I don't know. That is crazy, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it depends on how long he's been held, but
routine are no longer under your control. That is what makes this moment so interesting. Andrew's not simply dealing with criticism online or defending himself in an interview. He's now living inside the legal process he spent years talking about. And for the first time, the public is beginning to hear how that process is affecting him mentally. So just a few hours ago, Tate gave us a closer look at what he says he is currently facing. And this is where the reality of his situation really starts to sink in. In a statement posted from Andrew Tate's X account, he openly described the conditions he says he's being held under, because he also claimed he had no phone access. Andrew said he is currently being held inside a special housing unit, also known as the SHU. Now, for anyone who doesn't know what that means, the SHU is a section of a federal detention facility where someone is separated from the general inmate population. They may be housed alone or with another detainee, but they generally spend most of the day inside a locked cell and have far fewer opportunities to move around or interact with other people. But being placed in the SHU does not automatically mean Andrew did something violent inside the facility. People can end up there for several different reasons, sometimes while officials are still deciding where to place them, sometimes during an investigation, and sometimes simply because they believe the person needs to be separated or protected from everyone else. The SHU basically has two different sides to it. One is administrative, meaning someone can be placed there for security protection or while officials figure out what to do with them. And then the other is disciplinary, which is used as punishment after someone breaks.
I mean, yeah, because ain't they trying to extradite him back to the United Kingdom? So they trying to get him all his stuff situated and stuff like that for him to go back over there. So of course they don't want nothing to happen to him, but at the same time, it's like, damn. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Doing shit in different like countries and shit like that, and then getting your shit hunted down basically and getting arrested into a whole nother state, and they have to sit and arrest you and throw you into a whole isolation pod.
60 facilities rules. So right now we still do not know which category Andrew falls under or exactly why he was placed there. But according to Andrew, the reality of being inside the SHU is extremely restrictive. He says there's no commissary, no phone access, and no time in the yard. And after 6 days inside, he is already questioning why he's being treated this way. And I just want to paint a picture for you, okay? When it comes to specifically this place that he's inside, people who are held inside there have described cells becoming unbearably hot, with some men reportedly sleeping in their underwear just to stay cool. Others have complained about cockroaches crawling through the cells, broken toilets overflowing with waste and
shit look
smell of urine and feces inside parts of the facility. Now, that does not mean Andrew has personally experienced every single one of those conditions, but it gives you an idea of the kind of environment surrounding him while he sits inside the SHU, with limited contact and almost no control over his daily life. So this is clearly no place anyone would want to be, okay? I'm not trying to ever be there, right? So Andrew himself described the SHU as punitive housing for people who murder their cellmates. Meaning he...
Wait, so like I said, they always talk about Andrew, but like, what's his brother name? Tristan? Well, where's he at? That's a real question. Like, they got Andrew, but did they get Tristan? Because they said that for both of them, right? 59 counts for both of them across.
Believes he's being held under conditions meant for some of the most dangerous people in the system. And keep in mind, Florida has some of the craziest people on this planet, okay? Yeah. He also described being cut off from the few basic things that could make detention slightly easier. And then he even went further, saying he believes these are some of the worst conditions the U.S. government provides to terrorists and psychopaths. Now, that is Andrew's description of the situation, not an official explanation of why he was placed there, but it shows just how extreme he believes his current treatment is. So because Andrew is being held inside the special housing unit, he is separated from what is known as the general population, or Gen Pop, which is where most detainees are housed and have more regular contact with one another. And then in Andrew's case, his world has basically been reduced to a locked cell, concrete walls, and very limited contact outside the unit. Andrew once again emphasized that he is an extradition detainee who has not been convicted of the British charges. In his own words, he is innocent until proven guilty, wanted by a foreign state, and is still an American citizen. And then he ended the statement by asking one simple question: why am I here? So obviously Andrew believes the conditions he's being held under are far more extreme than his current legal situation justifies. And just think about the contrast for a second. This is someone who became famous for living the high life, the women, the private jets, the luxury homes, the Bugattis. And now he's sitting inside a locked federal unit where almost every part of his daily life is controlled by someone else. So that is the reality surrounding Andrew Tate right now. And a lot of people feel like the situation he's in right now is justified. A lot of people online believe Andrew Tate put himself in this position. And one question keeps coming up. How does Andrew Tate alone end up facing 42 criminal charges if there's
42?
absolutely nothing behind any of them?
That's 42 is a lot. Like, okay, you getting 5 charges against you. Five is like, boy, 5. That's a lot. 5 charges at once, and they all collectively are against you, and you're the only individual. No other parties or nothing, just only you. But having to have 42, brother.
The number of charges alone does not prove guilt. Charges are allegations, and Andrew Tate continues to deny every single one of them. But from the outside looking in, it is easy to understand why so many people are questioning how his situation became this serious. Like I said, I have another video coming up where I go much deeper into Andrew's beliefs that he's being set up by, what he calls the Matrix. He spent years arguing that powerful institutions would eventually come after him, destroy his reputation, and try to remove him. But other people look at the exact same situation and see something completely different. They see years of controversy, multiple legal cases, and accusations coming from different directions. And they ask whether Andrew's own choices eventually caught up with him. So I was actually having a conversation with a friend about this the other day. And whether you like Andrew Tate or not, he's been involved in enough controversy to make people question his character, his judgment, and the way he has lived his life. His name has become tied to so many allegations and legal battles that, for a lot of people, separating the public image from the actual evidence has become almost impossible. Of course, I cannot tell you whether Andrew is innocent or guilty. That is not my job. And none of these charges have resulted in a conviction. The courts will have to examine the
because like I said, even the first times he did get arrested and stuff like that, and he never got convicted of anything. And like I said, I don't even think he served time for any of the stuff that he was getting accused of the first time. But it's like I said, it's a repeat of the same type of accusations, same realm of it, and it's just like I don't know. Yo, that's the end of this video. Like I said, shout out to everybody that's in the lineage and everything. And Black, I'm surprised he's been showing his face recently. Like I said, I don't remember he used to have videos where it's just him narrating, not like showing himself and everything. So it's like a different standpoint of like reacting to his videos. But shout out to everybody in lineage. Like I said, if you're not part of the Discord and Twitch, I'm gonna link in the description. Pretty off checking out the vid.